You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Great guest today, Ryan.
Very good one.
We've had him on before, but I'm glad he came back. And a lot going on. Was doing the Broadway. Mm-hmm. And, we get into a lot of great stuff. So Grant Gustin is here. So if you're listening for Grant and you don't know who the hell I am or care, if you like this interview, all I ask is, hey, write a review and subscribe and maybe start listening. I think you'll dig it. We really get into mental health and a bunch of important things on this podcast. Wouldn't you say, Ryan?
I would say so.
Yeah. So it's nice when people start to listen and go, oh, yeah, not bad. I'll check that out. If you want more information on what I'm doing, go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum, my link tree. It's got Cameo. It's got the Inside of You online store, which I'm getting new Smallville pilot scripts. Going to sign those. Lexmas scripts. Yeah, the pilot episode. Anyway, my link tree on my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum, the link tree, Cameo, cons that are coming up. We're doing a Smallville cruise, cruiseville.com. Go to that. We're doing a lot of cons. This weekend, I'll be in Orlando at MegaCon doing Smallville Nights with Tom Welling, and we'll be in Cincinnati, Cleveland. We'll be in Chicago for the Smallville Con, which I hope you go to again. Yep. That was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So a lot of good stuff there. And a couple of products that I have is Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath for your dogs. If your dogs have crappy breath like mine and you want them to have puppy fresh breath, I have a new product called Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's on Amazon. It's in the link tree. It's awesome. I use it every day, and it's just a cap full in your dog's water. It's odorless, tasteless. They don't know the difference, and their breath is much better, so I kiss my dogs a lot more. And The Talented Farter is still on Amazon if you want to get the book, my fart book. It's beautifully illustrated with sounds. A lot of other stuff going on, so I'm just trying to keep it real, man. I'm trying to keep it real, Ryan. Is that what the kids say?
Yeah, man.
That's
what they're all saying.
You've got a big burly beard, man. It's getting you get in this stage every once in a while, don't you? Where you're I just want to. I don't care.
It's been a while. I think it's the coming out of. It's the New Year thing, and I
didn't know what that was.
Feels wintry.
I didn't know what you were about to say. It's
coming
out of, and I was like, oh, Ryan. Okay. Well, hoping for big news.
Yeah, no. Just the coming out of holidays. I was going to say holidays, but it has been so long since the holidays.
I know. It's crazy. And there's not a holiday coming up for a while.
No, but January's been a crappy month for Los Angeles.
It sure has. The fires and potential floods. I've had my friend Xander and Carrie lost their dog. I love them. I know how hard that is. My grandmother passing last Christmas, and it's been a lot. There's other things I can't even say, but all I have to say is this too shall pass, and it's life. You're going to get the crap, everything in between the crap and the good, and you're going to get the good and the great, and so you just got to keep going and strive for the great and hope for something positive around the corner.
I'm hoping only positive things can come.
It will.
Look, the year has officially started now that it's a new month.
It's true.
Starting
this moment for all of us.
Yep.
I hope you guys are doing well out there. And thanks to all my patrons who support this podcast. Without you, I could not do it. So if you want to help this podcast and keep it going, go to patreon.com/insideofyou and become a patron. And there's so many great benefits. And I'm doing a YouTube live with all my patrons. I'm going to do a Zoom with the top tiers. I send boxes. In fact, today is patron day. So we're sending boxes with the new tumblers and fun things in there. Some 1-year t-shirts for the 1-year people. And we're looking there's some people who have been around for 5 years. So we want to get them something special. So Bryce and I have been talking about that, but I really appreciate you. Join patreon.com/insideofyou and support the podcast. And without further ado, let's talk to Grant Gustin. I love this guy. He's such a sweetheart, and it was really awesome having him over. So let's get inside of Grant Gustin.
It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Far away from me. We were just talking because I had surgery, and you're saying your wife's a physical therapist, trainer, all this stuff. And I was like, would your wife train me? And you're like, well,
We also have a 3-month-old right now, so
not
and
easy.
a 3-year-old. So
how has that changed your life, man?
I mean, It's completely changed my life. Before I had kids, I remember somebody said something of like along the lines of, everyone says when you have kids that your life changes, but that's not true. That life's over and you have a new life now.
Is that true?
100%. But like, because your daily schedule is obviously completely altered. But also it just kind of like, I feel like biologically changes you, and like something in your brain changes. And I felt like a different person since having a kid.
Do you feel more, I feel like if I was a parent, the first time parent, I'd be like so nervous about everything the kid does.
Yeah.
I'd be watching him sleep. I'd be,
You do obsess with like their breathing, like when they're babies.
Do you like call the doctor too many times?
No, I mean, I know like my wife in particular, I remember the first time, and it hasn't been the same this time. She like a lot of like doom Google searches in the middle of the night. But which is not, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, well, they have that thing now. It's like med.com or ask a doctor.
Yeah.
I still am unsure about that though.
I don't know about
all these doctors that are willing to do online shit and answer your questions at 2 a.m. like, my baby sneeze sounds weird.
I'm not the person to Google medical concerns, because that'll spiral me. So,
well, I do. I'm the person that does that.
Yeah, I try not to.
My mom she had scans of her brain done because I think there's some stuff going on. And I just immediately looked it up and I go, yeah, this isn't good, Mom. She's like, what? I go, well, I looked it up.
Well, now there's like Google AI too. And it's like, you don't even have to like follow through with your search. Like it's like at the top of the page, it's like the AI is just put together like what the search results are for you. So it's like really dumbed it down even more.
What do you think about all that AI stuff?
I know, that's such an existential question. I
feel it is because it's really cool and it helps creators. But it also, I think, hinders some of the creativity. It's like that work ethic.
Talking about it within the creative space, it feels most of the time like it's not. It's a little scary. It doesn't feel exciting in the creative space, but I feel like it's more in like the science and like farming, and there's all these things that it sounds like it's like actually pretty helpful and beneficial for us. But in the creative space, it feels like, do we really need
what I
AI?
do is, the way I use it is I write a script, and that sounded like a creaking door. That's a horror movie. But I usually I'll write a script, and I'll kind of write the synopsis and the log line, the tagline, where the series goes, and then I'll get to a place where I'm like, I wonder what they think, and I'll start adding some stuff, and I'll some of it's really good, and a lot of it's not, so I use it that way. I think if you're looking to get an idea, I mean, it could help, I guess, if you type in like, what's a good idea for a horror movie that hasn't been done?
I know my brother-in-law did this with like a Flash episode one time, where he wanted to see, like, he typed in like, I don't know, this was years ago when Flash was still happening, but he wanted to incorporate my wife as like some evil doctor as the villain of the episode, and like he had AI write a Flash episode with her as like the
Was
bad
it good?
guy. It sounded kind of like a Flash episode, to be honest. Like,
really?
The synopsis of it, I mean,
that's creepy.
Yeah, I don't write, so like I don't write.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
Why is that? Because look, I want to tell you, I didn't write either. I would write like journals and things like that. And it wasn't until I spent 3 months at Carrie Fisher's house, and I've told this story, but like, I started like, she let me stay in one of her bungalows. I was going through a hard time, and we became good friends. And I was reading her book, Postcards from the Edge, and I was reading some other stuff. And, they always say, write what you know. Right. So don't, if you have an experience or something you want to talk about. So I started writing about my family. And then I gave her like 30 pages, and she goes, is this shit real? Did this really happen? And I go, yeah. She goes, it's genius. Stay on that track.
Cool.
And that's how I started writing. So I wonder if, you say, I don't know, I'm not a writer. I think you're a creative person. Mm-hmm. You do a lot of things. So you might want to add it to your repertoire.
Yeah, I've always thought like what would be my way into writing, but like, I don't know. I mean, I do think it stems back from like a more like deep-seated thing of like, I've never thought of myself as smart. I feel like I didn't excel in school, and just in life, I've never, like, I get nervous about press because I'm like, I don't want to sound dumb. And I even just social
it's
situations.
inevitable for me.
Yeah, me too. Well, me too. It feels like at least like compared to like whoever I'm standing next to, that I feel like seems more eloquent and smarter than me on the whatever.
Where does that
topic
stem
comes up.
from?
I don't know.
Were your parents very supportive?
Yeah, and there's both smart. Like everyone else, no one else in my family had ever been in like a creative person. Like there's no actors or dancers or painters or musicians or anything in my family. So and they're all like academic people. My wife's family's the same way. A lot of just like academic people, really smart people, did a lot of school. And like I went to school for theater and dropped out to do a Broadway tour. So like I don't know.
Well, what were you? You say you weren't. I have this problem too, where I'm always like, I'm not smart. I'm going to sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy it. I'm really good at pretending that I'm smart.
Yeah.
I could make them think I'm smart. I'll throw in a, colloquialism, and they'll be like, oh, okay. It's with colloquialism. Is that good? But I always had that. But that for me stems from childhood and, nobody around me saying, hey, you're smart. Hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, I'm good. So that's where that stems from, but it stays with you. Has it always been an issue for you?
Yeah, but I know I have a lot of people around me now. Like, my mom and my wife would be like two of the first people to be like, you're smart. Like, so it's not like I have people around me that make me feel like
less than.
Yeah. Other than the fact that I look at them as smarter than me. So it's like, it still comes back to just like,
well, they say
it's a me problem.
Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you.
I have. It's not that hard,
that's the key to life. If you want to be successful, don't surround yourself with people that are dumber than you or not creative, or like you have to hang out. I mean, look, I have some friends that aren't as creative but I surround, most of my friends are smarter than me.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And, but they're always like, all my friends are like, dude, you should totally go on Celebrity Jeopardy. You'd kill it. And I go,
is that a thing?
There's Celebrity Jeopardy.
Okay.
I had Ike Barinholtz on here. You know Ike?
No.
He's a comedian, he's genius, but he won it. But it's like it's simpler questions. It's not like the hard Jeopardy, but it's Celebrity Jeopardy. So look at celebrities answer.
Yeah.
But I just have this fear that I'm going to freeze and I'm going to like know it, but I can't think of it.
Right.
And I'm just going to look really stupid. And that's always been sort of my MO, is like looking stupid, not being able to, failing. Or
I don't know. I'm trying to be better about like not speak. Like I can tend to be. I've always leaned pessimistic, or like not always. I feel like more in like my later like adult life, I've been reminding myself how good at like manifesting without realizing I was manifesting as a younger person. And then I feel like you're taught to be a little more negative when things don't go how you expect them to go, or shit happens to you. And I've been kind of trying to recalibrate myself again to just even like, because I journal too, and to like not just write down stuff that's like stressing me out or bothering me, but things that I want to happen or think could happen that are good things. Because I think I was having a conversation with Greg Berlanti recently, actually, and he was talking a lot about that, where it's just like there's so much power in just like putting it on paper and writing it down. And so I've been trying to be better about that, but also just like thinking more positively about myself, because it also just like affects. To think negatively about yourself, it obviously brings you down, and then it can affect your relationship with other people too.
Of course.
So I'm just trying to be better about being a little more positive about how I think about myself, because I'm sure it bleeds into everything.
Well, I think, my therapist always tells me, look at what you've done. Simply look at what you've done. You just did a Broadway show, right?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Water for Elephants.
Water for Elephants, right. You learned all these lines. You get up on stage. You're creative. You perform every night. Mm-hmm. You carry a show like The Flash. You're the lead. You do how many seasons?
9.
9 fucking seasons. It's like at some point you have to go, stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it, because there's different parts of, intellect.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself really witty and creative.
Yeah. And
I'm okay. I'm not like brilliant, but I'm somewhat smart. I don't have a lot of common sense sometimes. But there's, that's just not in me.
Yeah.
And sometimes like at least what you have going for you is you're even keeled, or at least you seem to be.
Mm-hmm. I try.
You're shy. You're reserved. See, you have that. So less is better. So people will assume you're smart just because you have like, and me, they're like, oh, he's going on. He's probably doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, it's like, you know, because I'm not necessarily any of that at home, nor was I at all as a kid. Like I've never been someone that's like been really social. Like even as a young kid, like birthday parties and sleepovers like really stressed me out. I was the kid that a lot of time like called my mom and like decided I had wanted to come home. I wasn't going to spend the night.
Wow.
The same freshman year of college. Like I grew up in Virginia and I went to school in North Carolina, like 4 hours from home. But I still I had a moment the first couple months where I was like, I can't be here. Like, and just kind of spiraled.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. And obviously I stayed.
That happened to me too.
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to leave school. I just, it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I think it's like,
But you stayed.
I stayed. And then I started to meet people that were sort of accepting.
Yeah.
And people that I could relate to and people that I wanted to do things with and
Yeah.
theater.
Well, and a big thing too is like you were just saying about you, that you're, you know, at least seemingly more outgoing and, but you realize that like everyone's kind of at least got a nugget of the same stuff that you're feeling with self-doubt or insecurity or, you know, being uncomfortable. Like everybody has that. We just all have our different, you know, mechanisms for.
And how we deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you deal with it? I mean, do you ever have you dealt with a lot of anxiety or depression in your life?
I mean,
we talked about that. Yeah. Well, it was years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, of course. And it, you know, ebbs and flows sometimes throughout a day. It ebbs
so it
and
still
flows.
happens.
Of course. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, I'm always trying different. Sometimes I'll like go through phases where, and like I'm in one now where I've got a new kid. I've got a 3-month-old and a 3.5-year-old.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So it's like, there's always like new things going on and like, and then like I fall out of habits that I developed of like, you know, I'd gotten really good at exercising like 5 years ago. And then
it's so hard to stick with.
It obviously gets really hard when like, yeah, there's a new kid. And like, it was really hard when I was doing the show in New York because my wife was pregnant. We were, you know, living somewhere that wasn't normal for us. We have a gym at home in LA. Like that wasn't the case in our apartment.
Where were you living, in the city?
Yeah. The Upper West Side. And, yeah,
you were out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and everything, and then I'm doing a show every night, and I'm missing bedtime with my kid every night. So in the morning, I want to be around before I take her to preschool, and then like I gotta rest before I'm going to the theater. So like I pretty much, I think I was there for 9 months, almost 9 months, like eight and a half months. And I think I worked out like 15 times the whole time I was there.
And you could feel it probably in your body,
course,
your anxiety levels, your depression levels, your fatigue levels.
Yeah.
You're doing these shows. How much harder? I feel like doing a play, even though it's once a day, that you wake up and you're kind of like your nerves are ready for the night.
Well, 2 days, it's twice a day. You know, like Wednesdays and Saturdays you do two shows. Yeah. But so doing a musical was, you know, my background was all musical theater.
Yep.
Like it's all I had done until I was 21. And then my first job was Glee. So like I was still technically doing like a musical. So it was like all I knew was performing live on stage and doing musicals, but it had been like 13, 14 years since I'd been on stage.
How nervous were you?
I was really nervous going. Like it's that first day of school, like when you start, you know, a movie
Everybody
or a
talks
TV show.
about that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I hope everyone likes me. I hope they don't, you know, the impostor syndrome starts kicking in. Like they're going to realize I was wrong for the job. They're going to fire me on the first day. Like after the table read, they're going to think I suck and let me go. And like I was really nervous specifically about music rehearsal because I knew I was about to be around a lot of people that had only been doing, and I know what it takes to like give yourself to that and to think about it.
You had to work harder than probably they did.
I don't know, but like I did feel like I had to kind of shake like the whole perception, at least that I had created of myself going in, of like they're gonna think I'm like the TV guy coming in to like do Broadway and like you know, I'm not qualified, and I didn't want them to think I was a dick or like, you know, think that I think I'm like cool or, you know.
Yeah, you always want, it's like no matter where you are in your life, you want to fit in, you want people to accept you.
Yeah. So I was really nervous about the singing aspect.
Inside of You is brought to you by Shopify. I'll tell you what, Shopify, if you're starting a business, if you have an idea, go for it. What do you have to lose this year? It's January, Ryan.
I know.
And Shopify is there for you. It's for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses. Shopify has been so great to me, and it's so easy to navigate. You know, if you have a new product that you want to sell, It's all right there in front of you. It just says add product. You hit the click, you click it, you upload your picture, you put a price, you put a description, you make it active, you put it on your website. Shipping's easy. They do all that for you. So it's so easy to use Shopify. And that's why so many people around the world use Shopify. And they've been just fantastic.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify.
Home of the #1 checkout on the planet.
And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions by up to 50%.
Meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching.
So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between.
Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/inside, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/inside to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/inside. Inside of You is brought to you by Rocket Money. I know, Ryan, you've used Rocket Money.
Mm-hmm.
I've used Rocket Money. How many subscriptions do people have across this globe that they do not need or forgot to cancel, or they get a free trial and they forget to cancel it, and now they're paying so much money, sometimes hundreds a year? Rocket Money does everything for you. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Look, the start of a new year is the perfect time to get organized, set goals, and prioritize what matters most. And for a lot of us, the top priority is financial wellness, which feels more important than ever. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable. They show me all of my subscriptions right in one place, help me easily cancel ones that I forgot I've been paying for. Rocket Money also pulls together all of my spending across all of my different accounts so I can clearly track my spending habits and see where I can cut back. Why don't you say, before all that, before I said that, the start of a new year, Rocket Money, add this.
Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lowering your bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save, and then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with the customer service so you don't have to.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million of canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features.
Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses all across your accounts.
Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going.
Get alerts if your bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget.
Yeah, and the new goals feature automatically saves money for you so you don't have to think about it. Pay off credit card debt, put away money for a house, or just build your savings. Rocket Money makes it easy. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/inside today. That's rocketmoney.com/inside. rocketmoney.com/inside. Good amount of people come to the shows.
We did well. Yeah. We were like generally like pretty full most of the time I was there.
Did you ever mess up?
Yeah, of course. Like that's the thing going in too, that you're like, I hope I don't,
Does it, are you able to go, I fucked up, moving on?
I got better at that as I went. But like, no, the first, like I did West Side Story when I was 20, turned 21 on tour.
What role did you play?
Baby John. I was a dancer.
Yeah.
And I we did a year of shows. I forget exactly how many, but like I fell twice. Like we did these big kicks as jets.
Is it embarrassing?
Yeah. Like just thud hit the ground. Everyone saw or heard it, and you just got to get up and keep moving. So I knew coming in, like, okay, I've got like 8 songs in this show. I'm
gonna fuck one of them.
I'm gonna
forget a lyric.
I'm gonna forget a lyric, or I'm gonna crack. And yeah, I think I cracked 3. I did like
three times total in 8 months.
I think I cracked like 3 times.
That's nothing.
Totally. But like when it happens, you're like, that audience only saw the show once,
but you know what? You'll never see those people again.
Hopefully.
Mostly not.
Or who's there?
That's how you
maybe
gotta look
some
at
like
it.
You never know who's there.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Like Spielberg came and saw the show and like came on stage like afterwards.
Did he come see you after?
He came on stage. Yeah, he was a producer actually.
So Spielberg, you got to know Spielberg.
I met him.
What did he say? What was the encounter?
He was Spielberg. He was exactly.
He's like, hey, really great job.
He was very friendly, and he loved the show, and he was very nice to us and said,
were you nervous around him?
Yeah, but also like, you're like, this is going to be a very short exchange. Like Spielberg's got a lot going on in his life. He's like, not gonna, I feel like I try not to build up those moments too much, because I'm like, he's not building this moment up.
But don't you deep down go, God, I wish like he would be like, I'm going to put you in something.
Of course.
Isn't that in the back of your head?
Yeah, of course.
Like you want to say, hey, I just want to say, if you ever do a movie again,
yeah, of course.
I'd love to be the third guy in the right.
Of course. But it was also funny because like Mike Feist was there with him. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a Broadway actor who's done some West End too, and then is had I think he's a really talented actor, and he just did West Side Story with Spielberg. He was Riff. He just did that Challengers movie. So Feist is with him, who I think he was a really cool, chill guy, and I think is a great actor. I'm like, the whole time I'm like, Spielberg doesn't need me. He's got Mike Feist. Feist is right there.
That's what you think. But you're two different people.
That's true.
Did he see it on a night where you cracked, or you didn't crack them?
No. Yeah.
You
so
didn't?
I was just getting to the point of like, you never know, like Spielberg could be there and you want to do a good job.
That's true.
But yeah, like, so I cracked 3 times, and then I think 5 or 6 times at least I forgot lyrics, and always in a different spot.
No one would know though.
Not like, well,
it's not like if you, like for instance, if you go, I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you, and if you said, I'm all out of love, I need it now,
I think people would notice.
I don't know if they'd be catching on to what did he say.
You're right. I mean,
they really probably don't care.
I think I had a few that were like obvious, and then there was some that I probably made it work. I mean, I just a couple different things. Like one time I forgot, and like I just started saying shit until I remembered what I was supposed to say, and then sometimes I'd forget.
What would the person you were with say? What would the actor say?
Well, one of the times it happened, or 2 of the times, it was 2 different parts in this same song where I'm like on top of this scaffold that represents a train, and I'm like singing a solo, and I'm by myself, like nobody is around me, so I'm
was
just
your
like,
heart pounding?
Oh, of course. And then that's my first song. So then the rest of that show, I'm like, when am I going to forget another lyric? Because you have the rest
in your
of
head.
the show to do. By the time I told a lot of friends, like when I finished, it felt like it was time for me to finish, and I'll be better about this if I ever get to go back to Broadway, that I was developing this habit, this like tick of when a negative thought would enter my mind, or if I'd cracked the show before, forgot a lyric the show before, that I'd go into that show thinking like, don't mess up. And then every time I would think about it, I'd have to knock on wood. And I was on stage the whole show. Like I left stage like twice and was off stage for like maybe 5-10 minutes.
For a 2.5 hour show.
Yeah. Like I was on stage the whole time. So I'd be finding times during the show like to like discreetly like knock on wood, like
while you're on stage.
Yes, yeah. And I was getting to a point where I was like, this is not okay. Like I was doing it like 10 to 15 times per show. Anytime I'd think something negative, like I thought I'd have to combat it with knocking.
See, I always have that fear. I've always had that fear of not being able to know my lines, or the fear of like, I've had sometimes where they write a new speech for me and I'm like, I can't do this. This isn't how my brain works. I need a day or two to
me too.
compute.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. The next time it happens, I think the best thing to do is like, you got to get cue cards.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. You got to get cue cards. My mind will not remember them with the nerves and getting ready. It's going to be a waste of time. Just write them out and I'll read them. I'm not learning these lines unless it's like a line. Right. But if it's like a speech or something or a bunch of dialogue, you got to give me cue cards. I can't do that. And so I put so much pressure, and it's happened to me before. I remember Wes Craven in this movie comes to me at lunch and goes, oh yeah, we're not going to say what you said. I'm writing like a little monologue for you right now. And I'll get it
for the second half of the day.
Yeah. I'll get it to you after lunch. And my heart was just pounding. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I remember it was like 13 takes to get it. And I remember Christina Ricci just looking at me like, come on, dude. I'm like, I just got this. I didn't even say I should have.
My thing, honestly, with something like that is like the crew, like they get paid. Everyone gets pages at the top of the day. Like all the actors and the crew know.
So they know what's going on.
They know it's new. Yeah. So like, and I'm good at memorizing. Like I'm sure you are too, with the amount that you've done on TV.
I'm good at it. If the more I do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like if I started right now, it'd be tough.
Yeah.
But in a month, I'd be good.
I mean, yeah, because it's a muscle. So like when you're in the middle of a season though, and you're working on a show and you're like kind of sharp at it, like I was pretty good at like, I also worked really hard, like at memorizing I never like, let up on like, I never ever showed up on set on Flash and like and didn't.
Yeah, I always knew my lines.
Obviously you have days where like something's going on and your brain's just not clicking.
Yeah.
But I kind of would like, I didn't like getting something new midday or in the morning of, but also part of me was like, all right, now I'm going to show everybody how good I am at just like learning something, because everyone knows I just got this. So no one's going to blame me if I don't know it right now, because it's not my fault and I'm good at this. So I kind of would like, there's nothing to lose, you know, in like getting something new, because
I guess it's a good way of thinking about it, but like,
it's not your fault.
It just depends. It just depends. I think I get my fears start to, I get this, you hear my cuckoo clock?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It just goes, it doesn't tell the time exactly.
Oh yeah. It's
25
not a
after.
time that should be happening.
Yeah. Do you, if you had a choice to do TV, movie, or plays?
That's it. Like I had to pick one to do the rest of my life. I haven't done enough movies.
If it wasn't about money.
Yeah.
So because obviously you make more when you're doing theater.
That's the thing. Yeah, you obviously
TV
with theater, it's not why you do it. But also, as we were talking about, I mean, you get so much more out of theater in a way, but it's also like a different type of stress after doing, you know, I don't know, it's tough. It'd be really hard.
Gun to your head. If they said you're going to get the same money for whatever you choose.
I get it.
I get it. I'm with you.
Probably, I mean, as much as I love theater, I don't think I'd pick theater because
exhausting.
Like it's also in New York, and like it's not that I don't like New York, but that's not where I live, and like. And I think my wife like kind of doesn't like New York. Like, yeah. And being there with kids was really young kids was tough. Like you can't do any of the things that make New York fun when you've got.
I'm from New York, and I always said I'd never leave. And then when I left to LA, it took me a while, but now I'm like, I'll never go back to New York.
Right. Yeah.
And
I like going and visiting.
I grew up in Indiana, really. So I'm like, I'm not a city boy.
Yeah.
I love the sports of New York, and I like being there for a couple days.
Yeah.
But you know, all the trash outside and the buildings, and it's too cold
we had a
for
rat
too
problem
long.
You
gotta.
like,
I mean, it's just like, you know, it's cool, but it's like it's not for me. It's too fast paced.
And like my brother's been there for years and years, and most of my friends are there because I grew up doing theater, and they all moved to New York, and so. And I do feel like it just gets romanticized in a way. Like the struggle of it is like one of the things that people like, and you don't realize what it's doing to you and your stress levels.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Yeah. And like there's elements of LA that it's like kind of the same thing, you know, where it's like
it's all hard.
Anyway, so we're not answering your question. I think I wouldn't pick theater for that reason, because it's pretty much in New York. So and I guess, and I haven't done enough movies to know really what I've done, like 3 movies. So
do you want to do more? You work with Billy Bob Thornton. Or not Billy Bob Thornton.
William H. Macy.
William H.
Different
Macy.
middle initial, yeah.
Yeah, William H. Macy.
Yeah. No, Bill, as we call him.
And Crystal, right?
Uh-huh.
And where can you find that? Is that online? Or
I actually have no idea where you could find
Crystal, but working with William H. Macy.
Was awesome. Yeah, he came and saw Water for Elephants, actually.
Really?
With one of his daughters.
He talked to you after?
Yeah, he came on stage. Yeah.
Was he a sweetheart? Is he a sweetheart?
He's so nice. Yeah, he walks around with, and apparently, so one of our theater managers that worked at the Imperial Theater, Bill had done a show there, and he like came on stage, and Manny and knew Bill and was saying hi, and he was talking about, he was like, when Bill came in, he was like a last minute replacement for somebody that like had to drop out of a show, and Bill came in and replaced them, and he would walk around with his ukulele and play like in rehearsals and on stage and stuff, and he directed Crystal and acted in it, so he was on stage the whole time, and he did the same thing on set. He just kept a ukulele with him, and like when he'd be like thinking, like playing the ukulele and like singing songs, and he's so chill, positive. I mean, I obviously don't know him that well, but like he's always been so friendly to me, and I hope I get to work with him again. It was
I love that.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Did you want, honestly, Flash to end after 9 seasons? Were you just ready?
Yeah. I think, to be honest, it was like during 7 and during 8, both those seasons, I was like, maybe this could be the last season. And like there were conversations that went on both.
Were you
seasons.
Contracted for more at that time?
No, I think it was, we had the initial 6,
and then you added 7.
I think it was 1 at a time after that. And then like every year.
Did they ask you, want to do 10?
Uh-huh. Well, I preemptively made like phone calls, like, because again, I had struggled with it for going into 9, because that had also been like we had stopped for 6 or 7 months because of COVID, and it was the first time that I had stopped and got to be home for a while. And that was before I had kids, but it was just like, you know, obviously I needed the break. Like anyone that does TV for that amount of time, is, you know, better than anybody. They're like,
you know more.
You need a break.
You're the lead.
I
That's
mean,
tough, man.
I feel like the job that you had too, though, it's like, you know, you were there all the time. Yeah, I've heard you talk about it too with Tom. Where
I mean, Tom was there all the time. Yes, I had to shave my head, but
well, and you had a lot. You had to do a lot of the heavy lifting with like dialogue too.
Sometimes,
and Tom would just, I've heard you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, so I did too with like with Flash. Like I had a lot. You know, I had to do a lot of the talking. On top of like the schedule and the acting and a lot of the characters that we all kind of had to do a lot of talk, because it was like a science show too. So it wasn't an easy lift, like script wise for any of us. And like the longer it goes on too, creatively, you know, you are like there's certain scenes where you're like white knuckling storylines to be like, how do we make this one work? And like, we've kind of done versions of this 3 times, you know?
Inside View is brought to you by Quince. Listen to this, guys. If you're looking for like really good clothing at a fraction of the cost of what it normally costs, then listen to this. This is Quince, okay? And I got a cashmere sweater for $50. Yeah, where have you ever heard of that, Ryan?
No, never.
No. Elevating my lifestyle used to mean breaking the bank, but you know, no, not anymore. With Quince, I get high-end, versatile pieces at prices I can actually afford. Now I can upgrade my style by snagging killer luxury essentials that sync with my vibe and my wallet.
Quince has all the must-haves like Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow knit activewear.
The best part, Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands.
By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out most of the middleman and passes the savings on to us.
Yes, pretty amazing. This is a great sponsor, especially for people who like to look sharp and don't want to pay the big bucks. Quince is pretty awesome. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/inside for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/inside to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/inside. Hey folks, it's me, Michael Rosenbaum. Listen, if you're a supporter of the podcast, if you're enjoying these interviews, we ask you if you can join Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you, and help the podcast. It's a great way to build a community and friends, and there's a lot of benefits. There's different tiers. There's one where I give you packages every couple of months, a bunch of gifts, and write a note. You get your name shouted out on the podcast and much, much more. But most importantly, you'll be helping the podcast. So if you want to become a member of Patreon and support this podcast, that would be awesome. So just go to Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you. And I really appreciate you. Thanks. Was it frustrating when you're like, I remember episodes that you're just like, why aren't we doing that? Yeah, but again, they're doing X amount of episodes a year, and it's so hard. But it's like it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's like creatively.
Yeah, I mean, I knew season 1, and I've talked about this, you know, with all the people that work on the show and at like conventions and stuff. Like, it was always going to be a hard show to make work, even for one season, because the nature of his powers. Like, I should be able to solve whatever our issue is in act 1, like every episode, you know, because he's the fastest man alive and he's genius.
So you have to suspend disbelief.
Yeah, to like we have to like to stretch storylines and stuff. Yeah, they had to get real creative. So yeah, it was. Having said all that, like I feel like when we talked last, like I was kind of like entering a new phase where I was like getting a lot better at being present, because I didn't know what I was getting into the first handful of seasons. I was 23. I
can't imagine.
It was really stressful, but I didn't know how stressful it was. And I think I was like suppressing that, and it was manifesting in different ways. And
Knocking on wood.
not that, just kind of being impatient, being like not present, getting
Want to get the day done. Let's go.
And like, that's not. And I thought that was part of my job, is like number one, to like help the day move. But it's like, it wasn't. I wasn't an exec. I wasn't a producer. It's like, my job was to do my character, but also to like set the tone and be a good leader. And I didn't know what that meant for a long time. I just always hear people talk about it.
You're 23.
Right. So
I still don't know what a good leader is.
I mean, I figured out over time what it was for me, and I know now how to go into another job to like being better about it from the onset. So I got better, honestly, at being more present, even as the show at times was like not exactly what I would want it to be. Like, I enjoyed it almost more as it went. Like season 9, I think I haven't watched season 9, frankly. Like, just because I don't know that I need to. I kind of got to a point where if something was fun for me, I don't want to watch it and pick myself apart and like pick the show apart and make it a negative experience, because I had a good time.
Yeah.
So like, and I did have a good time with season 9. I knew it was the last season. I had matured, a great deal from where I was at season 1. And I knew how lucky I was to have played the character. I knew I was going to miss it. I even knew I was going to miss stuff that I didn't enjoy when it was happening, like wearing the suit and laying in a puddle in downtown Vancouver at 3 a.m. I was like, I'm going to miss that. And I do. I miss night shoots. Like, I miss having that, sense of purpose, even though you're tired, and the camaraderie with the crew and being like, are we going to get it?
I know there's something really fun.
Yeah,
and
it's not fun while it's happening. But but looking back,
it's easier to go, you know what?
That was cool.
I wish I would have been more like this. I wish these seasons I would have, I
got better at it as I went. Like, I know I did. And I know I'll be better going into my next job from the beginning, at just kind of knowing like sometimes shit's going to suck. And sometimes the scene's not going to be exactly what you want it to be. Sometimes you're going to have to do a reshoot. Sometimes and it's not anyone's fault.
Be malleable. Be flexible.
Sometimes it might be somebody's fault.
Sometimes it is somebody's fault.
But sometimes it might be your fault. So just, I don't know. Yeah, you got to be flexible, and just like, you might as well enjoy it. And
if they called you and said, hey, we want to do a 10 episode reboot like they're doing now with all these shows. We want to do 10 more episodes. Is that bad?
Oh no, that was so hot. I just like went heavy.
Oh, it was hot. Still hot.
It's so insulated.
It's insulated.
I was really careful on the last sip. Can you see me? I'm like crying.
I was like, the new inside of you tumblers, they keep the heat in.
They keep it warm.
They do.
Go ahead.
Your eyes are watering. I like
that
it.
was hot.
No.
Shredded my tongue.
What was I saying?
If they called me for a mini series.
Yeah, if they said, hey, we want to do a 5 episode or a 10 episode, would you even consider it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Like, there's a lot of things that would have to like, I'd ask.
Right.
Not like for, but about.
Right. It's got to be a good story.
Yeah.
It's got to be compelling.
I'd be more interested in like I
want to be a producer.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
But like for Flash in general, I mean, like I didn't do conventions while we were making the show. Like I think I did 3 in the 9 years we were making the show. 'Cause I've had this conversation with Steven. Like I never understood.
Now
like,
you can do them.
Exactly. Now I'm like, I'm not working right now. Like I'm being a dad and I'm home, and it's like
you must do really well at these conventions.
Yeah.
I mean, hundreds, 1,000 people come to see you.
I don't think it's that many, but like hundreds, yes. And it's like really, and it's cool. Like going before, like it is one of those things like where it's like a social situation, and like you're going as like yourself, and like you're selling tickets because you're you, and like the whole thing by nature makes me uncomfortable. But there's also the other side of it that I've started really
the money side.
Well, I mean, it is a job right now,
but it's a connection
between
too.
Jobs.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a connection where, it's easy to get, as you know, to get cynical about a show as it runs for a long time, and to not appreciate what positive effects it's having on people, and to go to these things and to like, it's just, there's no reason, they're literally paying to see you, first of all.
Yeah.
So like, it means something to them.
It's amazing
by nature. But then to some of these exchanges, I mean, it is really cool to see like what the show meant to people.
It means a lot to you.
And I poured my heart and soul into it, and struggled at times with like, is it good? Do I like it? Like, because you see, the negative things people say. And again, like we started with, you can buy into the negativity, or there's always the other side of it where like people love the show and it has made real tangible differences in people's lives. And sometimes it's just like a fun, creative escape and outlet for people. But other times like it's really getting them through like the darkest moment of their life. And it's cool to like see that the show had that effect.
It really changes your perspective,
Yeah.
Us doing we do Talkville, which is the Smallville rewatch podcast.
Oh, cool.
Tom and I do it now. And I hadn't seen all these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's watching with us now. And I didn't want to watch myself at first. And I was like, and then I started appreciating it more. Like, hey, this was like I was able to say, hey, you did a good job, and it was a good show, and there were some great moments, and I'm able to do that. But it's but in the cons, like you said, I think it's, you don't realize what an impact. You think it's just a silly show.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing this guy in a costume,
Mm-hmm.
and you're being super.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get there and you're like, my dad passed away, and this was the show that we watched every week. And this is, we became, we had a bond from this.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's inadvertent. It's like, you're like, you get that. You get to feel that. You get to be like, this is, not only did I get paid and I was on a show and I'm working, but now I get this, and this is, this person telling me how much it meant to her. So it's really cool. Did you like the the episodes where you sang?
Well, we only had like one real.
Is it just one?
We had one musical episode.
Did you love it?
Going into it, I was like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this?
You fought. Like, come on.
Not really. I never really fought much of anything on the show. Like, I never was like, I don't want to do this.
You're like, okay.
You kind of like, because again, I've never considered myself a writer. I did get good over the years that like I knew Barry better than anyone, and there were certain story things that like I'd have conversations with. Usually, if I was calling the showrunner or a writer about anything, it was like, hey, can I say this like this? It wasn't. I never was like pitching a different storyline or.
And they were usually like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, generally. So yeah, and when I saw that we were doing a musical, I was like, feels early was like one of my first thoughts, because I think it was like
we jumping the shark?
Yeah, it was like season 3 or 4 or something.
Can everybody else on the show sing?
Well, that's why we did it. Yeah, it was like it was like begging to be done. It was like there were people that weren't a part of it that should, like Tom Cavanaugh, has played Bobby Strong in You're in Town
Tom.
on Broadway, and like he was not a part of the musical episode. And I'm trying to think like who else didn't get utilized that could have, but I mean, Steven was, I think, a part of it, and like he can sing, but like he didn't sing.
But that's got to be like, you shoot episodes in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So did they give this one a little longer?
No, I think it was 10. It's because it's actually 8 days with like the 9th second unit day. So it's really, we do like 8 or 9, because I was almost always involved in the second unit day. So like 9 days, but
then you have to go to a recording studio and record it.
Yeah. But I had done Glee. So like
so that was easy for you.
It was eerily similar, like where we brought up Zach Woodley, who had been the choreographer on Glee. They got him to choreograph it, which was like weird. It literally felt, I was like, and like the number Zach choreographed was with Melissa, who was on Glee, and then Darren is around Chris, who was like Glee made him a big star. And I mean, it was bizarre. It was like this weird like Glee Flash hybrid episode. Well, I think it was actually an episode of Supergirl, that crossover
with Melissa.
Yeah, I mean,
and
everyone
she could
was
sing.
Yeah, like everyone, like I think Chris Wood, who's now her husband, who they met on that show. I knew him from college, where we were musical theater majors together. He wasn't utilized in the like he was in the musical episode, but he didn't sing. And he's like done like Broadway tour. He's been on Broadway. He's done Broadway tours. So I mean, it was. I think Carlos has been on Broadway. It was just announced yesterday, so I can say he's about to be on Broadway again. He's about to go do Hadestown and replace Jordan Fisher, who played my son on Flash, who was in
Such a Small World.
So he'd been on Broadway. Jesse L. Martin obviously had been on Broadway. Victor Garber, Broadway star. Melissa, who'd been on Broadway, Jeremy Jordan, we had, who's like a Tony nominated Broadway star.
Jeez.
It was like ridiculous. It was,
you had to.
it was
This
begging
is
to be
why
done. Yeah,
they had to do it.
And,
They're like,
and,
God,
and,
what do you?
and now, like, it's. I haven't rewatched it. I've seen clips of it, but like people love that episode. So like,
It's so different.
and it was fun. Like the crossovers tended to be the hardest at times, most miserable experiences, but at other times like the most fun experiences. And that one was both, but it was like one of the more memorable, more fun episodes.
Do you know what I think you should do?
Tell me.
I think you should start a band.
That's not gonna happen.
Why? You're a great singer.
Well,
You
that's
have a big following, and if you wrote some cool songs, which I know you can,
I can't.
you can't write songs.
I don't play an instrument. I actually don't read. I can follow.
What if I write you a
sheet
song?
music.
Because we have a new album coming out. What if I wrote you a song and you sang on the album?
I'd consider it, but I mean,
the songs are pretty cool.
so the singing, that was another thing going to Broadway. I mean, like
It'd probably be really good if you sang it.
like not considering myself smart. I've also never considered myself a singer.
You're the lead in a Broadway musical. How can you think that?
Well, I had to have one of the music directors the first week of rehearsals. Like I had such imposter syndrome, and I was so stressed, and I felt like I was around all these Broadway singers. And then there was me, and he was like, do you know what it takes to be a Broadway singer? And I was like, what? He was like, to sing on Broadway. And that's what you're about to do. So you are now a Broadway singer. And I was like, all right. And it did help because I was like, that's true.
You're
like,
doing it.
I auditioned. This was not like handed to me. I auditioned for the show. I flew to New York for a callback. Like I went out and won the role. So I had to convince myself that, it was.
How high can you get?
It depends on the vowel.
Like, can you sing like West Side Story, like Maria?
Yeah, in my own way. Yeah, I could
that high?
I mean, technically, I can sing like, depending on the vowel, how long of the note, like I could sing like a B flat, which is like pretty high.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But like, it's again, depending on the vowel and the approach, the lead up to the B flat.
Like what band from the 70s or 80s or 90s could you sing their songs? Could you sing like Duran?
I don't really, to be honest, know Duran like that.
Like her name is Rio and she dances on.
There's one of the hardest songs that I've successfully done with some alcohol in my system at karaoke, and I don't like karaoke, but like,
damn,
we were in, my wife's family's from Malaysia, so they love karaoke, and I love
karaoke. I have a karaoke system downstairs.
Well, if you maybe if I have like a,
you got to come one time. Oh yeah.
So dude, my wife's song, she gets mad that I've like co-opted this because her karaoke song is that Aerosmith song.
Dream On?
No. What's the one that he like wrote for
his
daughter? Yeah, I think it's in
With the one from
Angel.
Armageddon.
You're my angel.
I think it's from Armageddon.
You're my angel.
Don't wanna.
Yeah, don't wanna call my. Yeah, that one.
But I miss you.
Yeah,
and
so
I don't want to.
that's one of the hardest songs that I feel like I've like successfully accomplished at karaoke. So like I can sing that when I'm drunk enough.
Dude, I would love to hear that. That is epic.
Yeah. And my wife's so mad that like now I'm like, I love that. She's like, that's my karaoke. Mind you, she can't sing.
She can't sing at all?
No. She said no. She would be.
Do you
okay
laugh
with
when she sings?
Yeah, but I also like it. Like it's one of.
Do
the
you
things,
sing in the car?
Yeah, I was actually on the way over here. I was singing. I love Ben Rector. Do you know Ben Rector?
I know the name.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple of my favorite albums. He's got a new one coming out, but I was just singing some. His music is like makes you feel good and positive, and he's got a really sick voice and he can sing pretty high. So like I was singing his song.
Do you think when you sing, it looks like you? Like in other words, let me try to articulate this. Like some people sing and you're like, oh my gosh, that doesn't sound like anything like like how you talk.
No, I think it sounds like me.
It does.
Yeah.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think so. You can listen to the Water for Elephants soundtrack available wherever you can stream.
You're on that now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's out?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was out already.
Yeah. You generally on Broadway, like I think it's like the first. So your dark day is usually Monday. It's like the first Monday after you open, which is insane. You record the album, and that's pretty much what we did.
How do you get that high? I mean, and by the way, when you
Does
sing
that
it to
sound like
her,
my
do you
speaking
sing it?
voice?
Do you sing it that loudly?
No, not a bit.
But how do you sing that quietly? Silver star.
I can sing better quietly. In my
How would you
opinion.
sing that quietly, like to your daughter? Silver stars.
How does it go? How does it start? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do the big run right now. How does the song start? I know.
I don't know. You're asking me.
I did it for 6 months. Oh, now I got it. No, I've got it. Is this what it feels like to finally feel right? There's some hope in the wind. It blows my way again. And I just sing like
Wow.
quietly like that. for her.
Dude, see, I can't sing quietly like that.
That's where I feel most comfortable singing.
When you're on Broadway, can you sing that low?
Yeah,
'Cause it's
kinda-
mic'd, so-
yeah, that song almost started that quiet. We kind of eventually, like Jess Stone, the director, great director. She was always trying to get me to like sing louder and speak louder. That was my biggest issue starting rehearsals after doing TV for 12, 13 years. Was, you know, she was like, we're not, the camera's not in your face. Like, we need you to take up space
We need
and
you to
speak a little
sing.
louder.
We need you to fucking sing, man. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I love these guys at BetterHelp, and so many people are getting the therapy they need. You know, it's so important to give therapy a try. And so many people out there don't want to come in and meet a therapist. And what's great is this online therapy that BetterHelp has created has done so much for so many people, because you don't have to be afraid anymore. If, you know, the stigma is gone. You could get a therapist online, and if you don't have a good first encounter, you're like, I don't really want to. I want to try someone different. No cost, no charge. They'll change your therapist for you. It's so easy. And if you're thinking about it, if you got a lot of bottled stuff, that you just need to talk to someone about it. I always find, Ryan, that when I'm talking to somebody, even if I have nothing to say, within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm so glad that I'm talking to someone. Mm-hmm. Don't you?
Yeah.
It just feels like it all comes out.
Yeah.
Also, what are some of your relationship green flags? Maybe it's when your partner thoughtfully listens or anticipates your needs. We often hear about the red flags we should avoid, but what if we focus more on looking for green flags in friends and partners? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags, actively practice them in your relationships, and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building a friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. Therapy with BetterHelp can teach you positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/inside to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside.
The title of the book, The Talented Farter.
Yes.
That's been a thing.
Never.
This is a wonderful story about a little boy whose only gift, his only real talent is tooting. He can make his toot sound like everything you hear in everyday life. So little Michael loved Halloween, but nothing frightened his friends more than when Michael would stink up a good scare. Can you hear that?
Oh, I heard it.
It is a lovely story, and it's beautifully illustrated by my friend Heath, and Simon & Schuster's putting it out. It's going to be in tons of bookstores and available on Amazon. I'm so proud of it.
What now? Like, you did 9 years. To me, 9 years. And when did it end?
I don't know. It was
4 years, 3 years ago?
No. More recent than that. It was March of
2022.
That feels right. Yeah.
I mean,
So in
I wouldn't
March, it'll be
doing
2 years.
anything right now. You just finished Broadway. It's like, do you feel like you always have to be working, or you get stressed out?
Well, I think like a lot of actors, I think I'm never going to work again.
Well, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I understand that feeling.
Yeah. So, and I knew Water for Elephants came about very organically. Like, again, it was not like they didn't call me and say like, hey, do you want to do Water for Elephants? So I did seek it out, but the timing of it, we were still in the middle of the strike, SAG-AFTRA strike. And I didn't know what was going to happen next. And I knew like if I went and did it, like the strike would probably end while I was gone. I think it ended like before I even left or like around the time I went to New York. But I'd committed to do it during the strike. And I knew when I was doing Flash that like the best thing for me to probably do as an actor was to get on stage when it was over, because it would help like shock my system, any like potential like habits that I had built of like, you know, because you have tricks for a character, like, and if you play that character for a long time, those tricks can like, you know, bleed into characters that like you don't need those tricks
rehearsals
for.
and you got out of that.
I thought I could shock my system a little bit, and it did. And it was like I needed it. I needed to kind of make myself uncomfortable, and I did. So that was like the main reason that like it felt like, and I'd always wanted to do Broadway. It was like my original dream as an actor, and I just didn't want to be like 50, 60 and like have not done it yet. And like it would have been really easy to keep saying no, because there were a couple other opportunities before it to be a replacement and things, and like things I considered that I ended up not doing. And I almost didn't do this too. And like just even after I got the role, like I was like, is this right for my family? Is this where you got to go to New York? And and it's
amazing how the word no, how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
The word no sometimes can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, we're throwing money at you. Were you doing this? You're like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it because of this, or that I want more money. This.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
Yeah.
And it's important.
Yeah.
And, you know, but the other no is the no that's based on fear.
Right.
And that's like
100%.
No,
Exactly.
I just because it's you're thinking 100%. I'm gonna
100%.
fail. And if you could just say fuck it.
Yes. Because every time I consider a job, I think I'll fail. But I've heard enough actors I respect talk about the feeling the same way. And like I think it was like Tom Hanks said, if you're not showing up on the first day kind of shitting yourself, that like this is not what he said, but like something along these lines, that like that you're gonna fuck it up, and that you're not gonna, you know, then like it's like you should be a little worried about like if you're gonna do a good job or not. But then you also at some point have to decide that you are, you know, that is a part of that too. You can't every day think like I'm not doing it. I'm right.
Once you're in it, it's like
once
I'm doing
committed,
this. That's behind me.
I feel like you can worry about whether you're going to do a good job or not right up until the point that you're doing it. Like, but once you're doing it, you have to believe that you can do it. Or you then it might start to get in the way.
I believe that.
You know, and that doesn't mean you have to worry. If you want to go into something with the utmost confidence, like knock yourself out. I wish I could do that more.
You ever work with any assholes?
Yeah,
on any guest stars?
Anyone can be an asshole any given day.
Or any guest stars or anybody on set where you're just like, oh, they're being a real asshole.
Not a guest star. Our guest stars were great. I can't think of any guest stars that.
Did you ever feel bad for a guest star that couldn't get their lines out and you tried to help them?
Yeah, but nothing like egregious. Just that like I could like where I've been there, like when I was a guest star on Glee, and like
nerves and
So I always tried to be good about like empathizing, because like I could empathize, and like I still would feel it at times on Flash. If there was a scene I really cared about, that I was worried about getting right, you know, I could still go into it nervous. And so I mean, listen, we can all be I can be assholes sometimes when you're tired and stressed,
asshole.
and like
I'll be an asshole right now if you want.
That's okay.
Fucking asshole. No,
that's all right.
Have you ever thought of quitting the profession entirely? And if so, what would you do?
Yeah, I mean, like never seriously, because I don't know what I would do. But yeah, like there have been plenty of times when
it's not fun anymore at times.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's like, I don't know, for different reasons at different times. And it's like dark, like never like consistent, never more than like a 10-hour period, you know, like it's
for me, it's more 10 months.
Yeah, no, I mean, it ebbs and flows. Even when like I'm, you know, like I'm in a weird place now where like the show's ended. Now I've finished the Broadway run, and it's not like I'm just like not working for fun. I mean, I'm glad I'm not working right now.
Yeah.
But I've also auditioned for a lot that I haven't gotten. Like
that's all right.
Yeah. Like, so some day, like when you first find out you didn't get it, there's always like a 2-hour period where you're like a little self-deprecating and like bummed out and like think like, again, I'm never going to work again, or like you're hard on yourself.
Yep.
But I also, every time an audition comes in, I think there's no reason I shouldn't get this. Like, and I really give it everything I have.
That's
and
a great feeling.
yeah, like I make good tapes, I think. And like
I've done that too, where I'm like going, and that's enough for me. Do you know?
Yeah.
When I audition and I look at the tape and I watch it with a buddy,
Yeah, and you feel good about it.
I go, I'm really good.
I don't always
this is
feel
good. And
good.
that's enough.
I feel
for
better.
me.
And it's the same reason I didn't watch season 9. I haven't watched like more recent things I've done where like I can feel good about making the tape. But then like sometimes when I watch it, like I don't feel as good as I felt making. But you have to watch the tape because you have to edit it and send it. So that part stuff.
I never put a lot of time into them.
I try not to also. I try to
I never
like I walk into
the
a
lines. I have an iPad. You'll never know that I'm reading
interesting.
it. It's easy, so you can do it like that if they need it.
Yeah. I've never done that, but like I do hold the paper, and like I do. I'm pretty memorized because I'm pretty quick with it. But like if I need to,
Sure.
like I do. But yeah, I feel every time I get an audition, I'm like I should get this, and then when I don't get it, I'm like I'm the worst. Like of course.
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
get
feel like that.
but
I just kind of
like
go
a pendulum.
Yeah, I understand that. I think that you should be like, you got to remember, it's like, and you know this, it's like you send your tape in and there's 50 other tapes.
100%. And it has a lot of
even if you're the top 2, you're not going to hear back.
Right. Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the guy. This guy's really good, but this guy's even. This is the look.
Right. It can be a look.
It's completely,
it can be something intangible.
Right.
Like, yeah.
This is called Shit Talking with Grant Gustin. You say Gustin, right?
That's what we say.
Now, some people say Gustin. That'd be wrong.
That'd be wrong.
Yeah. Shit Talking with Grant Gustin. If you want to become a patron and support this podcast, we need you. Patreon.com/inside of you. Means the world to me. Rapid fire.
Wait, some people say Gustin when they're talking about me?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is rapid fire. Niko P, what activity helps you calm you down?
Oh, these are from people?
From people.
Exercise. And I've recently started doing sauna cold tub.
I did the sauna last night.
Yeah, I love
sauna.
it. Have you done cold tub?
I have a plunge.
Do
but I don't get in very often, but I should.
I've been doing it every day. I've like become.
Does it really help you?
I don't know, but like I think
it gives you energy for a couple hours.
Yeah,
when you get out, you're
I
like,
got interested in it because of like stuff that I've read about like potential long-term benefits. But like it does, I think, help with like muscle recovery if you're lifting, and it does like wake you up. It does, it helps my energy. So
Jill E, how does he compare getting in shape to be a superhero versus getting in shape to do a Broadway musical? Both seem strenuous.
So I didn't really, other than the pilot, they wanted me to get in shape. So I tried a bit, but then like I could not maintain that at all while I was making the show. So I just got thin.
Right.
And Berlanti was very supportive of like, he's a runner. You can be thin. And like I'm never gonna be like
I'm never gonna be
yoked.
Mr. Ripped.
Like, yeah, I'm a tall, thin guy.
Yeah.
So and then I got in shape for fun for me, like during COVID. I've yet in my career, there's not been a lot of things where I'm like, I gotta get in this type of shape for this. So going into Broadway, like there wasn't like anything I specifically did to like, this is how I need to train for this.
Right.
I just always try to stay healthy and fit.
What do you eat, by the way, every day?
I mean, I'm like a normal healthy.
Do you have
eater.
like a sandwich every
snack.
day? Maybe some fries, a burger,
Yeah, like I had
steak, chicken.
Lunch yesterday. I had like fries and a BLT, like from
Right.
a
You
restaurant.
eat snacks at night?
Yeah, I eat,
Popcorn.
like, sometimes like I like cereal at night a lot of the time. It's like I don't eat
You
it
like
in the
milk?
morning.
You drink milk?
I drink almond milk.
Almond milk.
I have like oat milk and coffee.
What kind of cereal?
I mean,
Fruit Loops?
No, like
Golden Grams?
No, they're like I
Lucky
guess
Charms.
like when you were a kid, tended to be called healthier
I know,
cereals,
I know.
like Honey Bunches of Oats and Life are like two of my favorite cereals.
Yeah,
I actually really like Raisin
Dude,
Bran.
I love Raisin Bran. It is so delicious.
Yeah.
All those double scoop raisins.
Yeah.
Get out. Linda M, how do you hope people describe you?
Good dad, hard worker, kind.
Good heart.
Yeah.
Rozzy, what did you enjoy the most about your time on The Flash, if you had to say overall?
I've kind of tended to think about it now. Like I think my biggest takeaway is that like you're just a part of a legacy that is bigger than you, that was like around long before me and will be around long after me. And like because of that, like my name is like etched in Flash history forever, which is pretty cool.
I mean, 99 more. What's the funniest thing that happened to you on set?
I don't know. I mean, the thing, like, there were bits all the time,
Like
like, were,
when-
like
when-
way funnier than what I'm about to say. But like, like funny, haha. Like I don't. But like, I tore my crotch like in public many times in the Flash suit.
Tore?
Yeah, like my crotch would just split
Just
open.
rip open.
Yeah.
Not your crotch,
My
your pants.
suit.
Your
Yeah,
suit.
not
Yeah,
my
that'd be
skin.
really
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
And people would hear it.
They would see. I mean, like, thankfully, it was like there's like another layer of like Under Armour, so you would just see like a gaping black like hole underneath my red suit.
Did your wife give you shit when you first got Flash?
We weren't together. Yet.
You weren't at all together?
We met season 2.
Season 2. Did she ever think it was funny seeing you in a suit?
She thought it was cool. I mean, like that was back when like I kind of thought it was like cooler. Like I bought into, or I like tried to buy into my shit a little more than I feel like I do now. Where like
Right.
I thought like she would probably think it's cool that I'm the Flash, but she doesn't. She's not that type of person. But like, yeah, it was. She had never probably met an actor, so to visit set and to see me in my suit and like, yeah, it was cool. It's like it's. You know,
I
you
love
don't
it.
get to meet a lot of people that are currently playing a superhero.
Yeah,
Like, so
that's
yeah,
cool.
she thought it was cool.
I never played a superhero.
But she's also not somebody that like, you know, will gas you up or like
Cares.
she keeps. Yeah. She's like pretty even keeled.
So you have a 3-year-old and a 3-month-year-old. 3-month-old.
Yeah, we don't tend to add year after the month.
3-month-year-old. You got a 3-month-year-old and a 3-year-old. All right, so I came out with this book. Simon and Schuster is putting it out, and it's called The Talented Farter, and it's a
Oh,
it's a sound
my
book.
daughter's gonna. She
So-
always talks about green farts right now. Oh, dude, I'm so
It's
mad at you.
beautifully illustrated. Look at this.
So mad at you.
It's got buttons on every
It's
page.
the last thing we need.
I signed it to you to grant farts are cool.
Oh, she's gonna be obsessed.
I love this book. It just came out in November. Available on Amazon. Get one and what else? Barnes and Noble stores.
That's cool.
So that's for you.
Thank you.
That's for your daughter.
Oh,
And do you have a dog?
2.
All right. Well, here you go. This is called Me Time. So Rosie's
These are very good organic plugs.
Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. You just put this in your dog's water. It's
Oh.
odorless, tasteless, and the breath is going to be dynamite. Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath.
My wife's gonna love that.
You get treats when you're here. And you get the tumbler.
Goodness. Yeah. I
All
got a
for coming
tumbler.
over. Look, I know.
He's letting me keep this.
Look, I think you're enormously talented. You're a wonderful guy. I really think you should start a band. I will hope you consider maybe singing on my album.
Consider.
Yeah. I'm excited about your future. I think
Thanks.
you're young as shit. You're still, 33?
I'll be 35 in January.
35. That's really young. You still have a long life ahead of you. So the only advice I'll give you is you've done so much. You were in a series for 9 years. You've done Broadway. You've done other TV. You can do whatever you want. This is a long career.
Yeah.
So enjoy the time you have off.
It's the
Because
conversation
something else,
I just had with Greg.
something else is going to come,
Yeah.
and your life's going to be like, God, why did I wish I was still not doing anything.
I know I'll be better and better at enjoying these, what Greg referred to as plateaus when we spoke of like, because
Yeah.
it's like, it's when you also figure out who you are and it makes you a better actor to like really live in these moments between when you're working, you know?
Yeah, feel it and just live it, and try to do fun things while
Yeah.
you can, until somebody says, now you're on our
Yeah.
on our watch or whatever, and when you're working fucking 6 days a week and you're on another series, or I could see you easily getting on like a dramatic series like for HBO or something, like something cool.
Let's do it.
Everybody's doing
I was going to
that.
knock, but I'm not going to knock.
I'm
Let's
gonna knock.
do it. All right. Let's knock.
Thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
What a guy.
Yeah.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
You're adorable, Grant. Just adorable. I'd love for him to be my dad. That was weird that I said that. But he just looks like a good dad. He's he's got a kid, and he seems like he just tries to do the
He'd
best
come to your
he can.
hockey games, I think.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
support you. Go
It's
take
not that my dad didn't go to the hockey games.
Take you for ice cream
he
after.
was my coach for 1 year. Right now, we're going to go to the top tiers. Thanks for listening. Again, if you like it, like the podcast, please support us, patreon.com/inside of you. Join Patreon or just support the podcast. Write a review and subscribe and listen. We've got great interviews and a great back catalog. Anywhere from Keanu Reeves and J.K. Simmons and Kiefer Sutherland to Carrie Ann Moss and Kristen Ritter and Kristen Bell and a lot of great people. Elijah Wood was just on, and some great guests. Lucy Lawless was a great one. And so right now, top tiers, these are their names who give back the most to the podcast. My top tiers, let's go at it.
All right.
Nancy D, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Brian H, Niko P, Rob L. It's L, right? I always say, because it's just a line. Jason W, Sophie M, Raj C, Jennifer N, Stacey L, just sent you a package along with others. Jamal F, Janelle B, Mike Eldanzsupremo, 99 more.
Santiago M, Madi S, Kendrick F, Belinda N, Dave H, Dave Ho, Brad D, Ray H, Tabitha T, Tom N, Talia M, Betsy D, Rhiannon C.
Rhiannon C, like a Michelle A, Jeremy C, Eugene and Leah. Oh, they've been around forever. So many. Mel S, Eric H, Oracle. Gosh, I've said that name so many times. And Eric H. Amanda R. How could you forget Amanda R? William K, Kevin E, Jarrell, Jammin J, Leanne J. I'm sending you guys stuff.
Luna R, Jules M, Jessica B, Kaylee J, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Romeo the band,
of course,
Frank B, Jen T, April R, Randy S, Claudia,
Rachel D, Nick W, Stephanie and Evan,
Stefan,
thank you, Charlene A, Don G, Jenny B76, Tina E, NG Tracy, Keith B, Heather and Greg.
Grether. Heg. I was going to say Heg. Heg.
Ellie K, Ben B, Pierre C, Sultan, Ingrid C, Christina S, Dave T, David L, Jill and Brett, Jeff G, Kareem H, and Brian B. Without you guys, what would this show be? I love you. Thank you for supporting the podcast. And from the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Tays. I'm here too.
Yeah. Wave to the camera. We're hoping for better days. They're here to come. Be good to yourself, folks, please. And that's most important. And I'll see you soon. You could listen to me all day if you want. I doubt it, but you can. All right.